So we're back again for day 4 of the Legacy Marathon, and the first deck we've spun into is Food Chain. So there are different versions of Food Chain. For example, there's a Goblins list that runs Food Chain because Squee the Immortal can be Food Chained, but I figured it'd be more fun to play the traditional Food Chain deck than just another variant of Goblins. So this deck is built around the card Food Chain, 3 mana, green enchantment, exile a creature you control, add X mana of any one color, where X is 1 plus the exiled creature's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. So there are creatures that this combos with. In this deck, they are Eternal Scourge and Mist Hollow Griffin, which the bodies of the creatures as 3/3s don't really matter. The point is that you can cast them from exile. So basically, you have a Mist Hollow Griffin or an Eternal Scourge in play. You Food Chain to exile it, and you make 1 additional mana. So if you have Scourge, you make 4. If you have Mist Hollow Griffin, you make 5. Then you cast them back from exile using the mana you just made, and you're left with 1 floating. So you can keep exiling and recasting them over and over and over to generate infinite mana. Although you can only spend that mana on creatures. So if you have Walking Ballista, you can just dump a bunch of mana into Walking Ballista and shoot your opponent to death. Or if you have Uro, you can cast Uro and then potentially escape it to draw 2 cards, and maybe that'll be good enough to get you there. Ice Fang Coda will also draw you a card, so that can just cycle itself. And you have Hydroid Krasis as well, which can, if you have this, you just draw your whole deck, and then you Ballista them to death. The rest of the deck is built around basically setting this up. So the rest of the deck's basically like a mid-range value deck. So you've got Swords to Plowshares and Prismatic Ending as your removal, Brainstorm and Ponder to filter. You've got Noble Hierarchs to get going faster. Manipulate Fate. You search your library for 3 cards and exile them, then draw a card. So you can search your library for your 3 exile creatures and then exile all of those so that they're already ready in the exile zone, which can be good either to set up Food Chain or just to have 3 available cards to cast. Obviously, they're not great cards. 3/3 flyer, 3/3 not flyer are not great, but it is giving you essentially companions in a sense. Codal, and then 1 Teferi Time Raveler, and then of course Force of Will. Mana base is a pretty stock Bant mana base with 1 copy of Beseiju and 1 copy of Karakas, and then the rest is just various duels and snow basics. And then the sideboard is a bunch of, sideboard Silver Bullet stuff. So containment, so basically let's group these here. So Surgical, Grafdigger's Cage, Containment Priest, Rip for the graveyard, and Grafdigger's Cage hits stuff like elves and whatnot. Peacekeeper as a basically creature version of Ensnaring Bridge, essentially. Blue and Hydroblast for the red decks. Dress Down, Mystical Dispute, Brazen Borrower. An extra copy of Endurance over here. Again, more graveyard hate, and there's one of in the main board as well. Foundation Breaker and Seeds of Innocence for the artifact decks. That is Food Chain. Let's go ahead and jump into our league and see how this operates. All right, it's round 1, and we are on the draw. Well, triple Food Chain with Mist Hollow Griffin is interesting for sure. So I think this hand's good if we're playing a slow counterspell deck, because then we can just play 3 Food Chains in a row. But if we're not, then this hand's really not very good, is it? Probably a mulligan. All right, let's mull. Well, this hand is actually worse. We can get Noble Hierarch into play and then have Force of Will to protect it and then Brainstorm into more lands, I guess. So I'm going to keep this and I guess throw back Ballista. Yeah, all right. Thespian Stage. Okay. Well, second land's good. All right, so Forest, Noble Hierarch, and pass back to them. There's a Saga. Sphere of Resistance. Yep. All right, counter that and pitch. Honestly, Brainstorm, I think. So this has got to be lands, right? All right, now let's pitch to Fairy. All right, well, we definitely don't want these swords. Although, obviously, they can Dark Depths, but it's probably better to just try to combo them out. Brainstorm. So let's put back both Swords to Plowshares. And then let's go ahead and grab a basic island and play Codal. And I can flash Codal in anyway, so let's just pass back to them. Urza Saga goes to 2. Schadenport. Another Sphere of Resistance. All right, well, I think we can play around this, though. Drew Brainstorm. Yeah, that resolves. All right, let's just resolve Food Chain. So Food Chain, go to combat with the Codal. Exalted, take 2. Sphere does turn off our combo, though, so we do have to get rid of it. We already got rid of our Teferi on that Force of Will, so what else do we have that actually answers at main deck? Prismatic Ending? All right, so we're good. They're floating instead of making a construct. Grabs a Mox Diamond, discarding Dark Depths. So does that mean they have a second one? Life from the... Oh, okay. Well, Saga again, then they're going to port us an upkeep, presumably. May as well brainstorm right now. We're going to do it anyway. Manipulate Fate doesn't actually help us here. Prismatic Ending, obviously, great. Well, Manipulate Fate helps us in a bit, right? So let's put back... We're in our upkeep right now, so we're going to draw a card. So 2 lands. Then that resolves, fizzles out, and then we draw the land, and then Prismatic the Sphere. Actually, hang on. How does this word? Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors spent to cast this. So I can choose X equals 0, and then the sphere makes it cost more, right? So I go ending, and then blue. I mean, not that I need this other mana anyway, but... All right, so Prismatic, combat. So I should have put the fetch land on top, not Tropical Island. Oh well. So next turn we get infinite mana, but we don't actually have a way to use it. So Saga on 2, there's Dark Depths. At least we get to cast Mist Hologriffin, 2 of Mist Hologriffins rather, so we can block the depths forever. All right, upkeep. They're not porting us anymore. All right, Manipulate Fate. So grab Mist Hollow, Eternal Scourge. We drew a Force of Will. All right, so let's cast Scourge, then Food Chain this, exile to make blue, then cast Mist Hollow, or Scourge rather, Food Chain for blue, cast Scourge, and we'll do this for a bit until we get everything into play. All right, all the creatures have been cast from exile, and we unfortunately do not have a way to actually win here, so we will just pass and have blockers open for Merit Lage. All right, they're doing the Merit Lage thing. Urza Saga goes to 3. Shadow Spear's in the graveyard? Oh, they dredged Loam, and they milled over Shadow Spear, so that's what they were going to go get, I suppose. Wow, that's a lucky dredge, I guess. So now they just have to... So yeah, they're basically out of options, right? Because now they just attack, we chump block, and then we just replay the guy next turn. So now they have to, loam and just, make a bunch of Construct tokens, which gives us a lot of time to beat them. Mox Diamond, discarding Stage, Urza Saga, Exploration. All right, block with a Mist Hollow. Map for... Are they going to try to Wasteland lock us or what? Tabernacle. All right, fetch. What do I want? Savannah, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see. Which ones do I actually need to pay for, right? I guess it's technically cheaper to pay for all of these. No, I need to pay for all of them, right? Because they die, they don't go to exile. So I do actually need to pay for them all. Okay. Actually, I don't need to pay for Scourge. No, I do need to pay for Scourge, right? Yeah, I do need to pay for all of them. Okay, so pay that one. Pay that one, pay that one, and then pay for Noble. So I don't have infinite time. We drew Hydroid Crisis. All right, let's go. All right, keep scourging. Cast Scourge. Keep scourging. Keep on scourging. And this is the unfortunate part of looping combos on Moto. All right, looks like our opponent believes that we have the combo and they will give this game to us. All right, so game 2. Let's see. I want Rip so that I shut off their Loam shenanigans. I need answers to Sphere of Resistance, and I can also blow up Mox Diamonds, so Foundation Breaker and Seeds of Innocence can be good. Endurance is also good against them. I guess Surgical is also good against them. Peacekeeper, I guess, can prevent their Merit Lage from ever attacking us, right? So that matters too. So let's see. What's bad? So even though Swords kills Merit Lage, it's only a temporary solution. So maybe Swords is bad. Force of Will also is kind of bad. The only cards that we actually care about countering are basically Sphere of Resistance and Life from the Loam, pretty much. And Loam they can just dredge back anyway. So what if we get rid of that? Right, we keep all the Prismatics to eat Sphere of Resistance. Obviously they can get a super fast Merit Lage and turn 2 combo us, but I think it's probably better to play not against that plan. So then I've unboarded 1 extra card. Brazen Borrower can also bounce a Lage and bounce Sphere of Resistance. Maybe this is wrong, I'm not sure. I'm going to go with this and see how that turns out. Wait until you do Pauper and have to play Walls and Altar combo. So you finished the Modern Marathon since you're doing Legacy? Yeah, we finished that a while ago at the end of August. Oh no, end of August was Pioneer. We finished the Modern Marathon even way before that. All right, well, we got everything here except for the mana outlet, so let's keep... The other cool thing about cards like Rip is that if our Mist Hologriffin goes to the graveyard, it then gets exiled again, so we can loop stuff. Exploration, Verdant Catacombs. All right, so land, Noble Hierarch, and then pass back to them. They fetched a forest, Yavimaya, Rishadan Port. Well, that's not too bad. So they port our Snow Forest. I could flash in Codal here. Yeah, Flash and Codal, then cast Ponder. That seems useful. All right, so blue-green, Codal. We can Prismatic Exploration. Does that matter? The only way that matters is if they have Life from the Loam, and we have Rip to stop that. Let's go grab an island and play Ponder. Ponder. Crop Rotation. Gets Tabernacle. That is going to be an issue. Peacekeeper, Ponder, Seeds of Innocence. I kind of don't want to draw any of these. Yeah, let's shuffle. Well, there's the out. So back over to them. Crucible of Worlds. All right, so I definitely need to get Rip into play. Unless I can win? No, I can't win, right? So let's see. Tabernacle. Noble pays for itself. They also port us. So I allow Codal to die. Noble pays for herself. Then they're going to port us, and we have 2 mana. So then I just cast Rip because I have nothing else to do. Yeah, all right, so Codal dies. So pay for Noble. Then they port this. That's fine. Another land's a great draw. So Heath, fetch. We got to fetch all basics so that we don't get wastelanded. And then cast Rip. So is Legacy mostly combo decks, or am I missing something? No, it isn't. It's actually mostly fair decks. Shadow Spear. So upkeep, pay for the Noble. Then port our planes, sure. We drew an island. All right, so now I can play Food Chain, and then I can win next turn. All right, Food Chain, and then over to them. Combo decks aren't as prevalent as you'd think, mostly because of Force of Will and other good answers to all in playstyles. Yeah, Force of Will puts a check on everything. All right, Wasteland is irrelevant. Dark Depths, they don't have Thespian Stage yet, though. All right, so I guess Noble pays for herself now. So pay for Noble, port our island. Do I have a second forest? I do. Not that it matters. All right, Mist Hollow-Griffin, blue, and we'll start going off. Mist Hollow-Griffin time. Can I reveal this from my hand? I know I can reveal my whole hand. Can I only reveal 1 card? So let's see, I have 43 cards in my deck. X is half the number of draws, right? So I need to make X 80 something. I don't know why it doesn't just automatically spend the mana. It's all the same color. So despite having 9 minutes on the clock, this is going to take quite a while. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll let them know. Blue, 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 blue. All right, they have conceded. So on to round number 2. Maybe we should have, instead of Krasis, even though it's technically less optimal, just a second Ballista in the deck, just so it doesn't take quite as many clicks to get there. Not sure. Food Chain is a name that strikes fear into the very souls of the enemy, I suppose. I do wish there was a way to... Okay, if any of you are familiar with Photoshop, or I guess maybe other programs do this too, but like Photoshop, for example, has the command section where you can set commands to execute a series of actions by just clicking one button. I wish that Moto had a command function where you could just say like record. You could hit record, and then every action you take while you're recording is recorded. And then you could stop the recording. So you would say like record, and then you'd go Food Chain, exile Mist Hollow-Griffin, cast Mist Hollow-Griffin, and then you say stop recording. And then you would just say execute action, insert X number of times. And then Moto would say like, opponent, your opponent is attempting to execute an action X many times. Will you allow this action or stop them X number of times into it? And then your opponent could just go, yeah, okay, allow action. And then you would just go through it. Obviously, you'd have to figure out a way to make it so that people can't just stop the execution for no reason, just to run your clock out. But I think you could implement it. Yeah, there should be a way to just allow you to auto-repeat actions. Well, this hand's not keepable, so we'll mull this. We're on the draw. This hand's also not keepable. Whew, man, these are some rotten hands. All right, let's go to 4. Have we had 1 land in every single hand so far? Yeah. I guess, what am I hoping to do here? Going to 3 is almost certainly an auto loss, so I guess I'm keeping this, and I'm just hoping to draw blue mana so I can brainstorm. So the best thing to do would be to put back all the white spells. All right. This is probably going to be a scoop to conceal information game. Our opponent didn't do anything. All right, well, we're going to cast Tundra and then, or play Tundra and then cast Brainstorm. Turn Timber Symbiosis. Summoner's Pact. Is this oops? Okay, yeah, this is oops. So they're just going to win right now, or try to win right now, rather. Dark Ritual. Undercity Informer. All right, let's Brainstorm, try to hit Force of Will. We did hit Force of Will. So put back one of the 2 Mist Hollows and Endurance, I guess. Actually, Endurance is good too, eh? Against their deck. I don't want to put back a land, though. Let's just put back Endurance. All right, Force, Pitch, Griffin. Pact and Negation. All right. Oh, I could have put back the land, and then I was going to draw the land anyway, right? Yeah, that's a misplay on my part. I could have just put the land back and still had Endurance in my hand. I was just stupid and didn't think they would have an answer for Force of Will. Of course they could have had an answer for Force of Will. Yeah, so it dupes all spells. So what's in their graveyard exactly? Is it just the stock list, or is it anything different? Yeah, there's Oracle, there's Memory's Journey. Dread Return's in here, right? Where is it? All right, I guess I just missed it somewhere. Yep, okay, we're dead. Man, if I was just not stupid and kept Endurance in my hand, we would have won that. Well, I wouldn't have necessarily won that, but we wouldn't have lost there. Okay, so we want Endurance, Grafdigger's Cage, Rip, Surgical, Dress Down for the Oracle. Is Mystical Dispute good? It counters their Pact of Negation, but that's it. Oh, Containment Priest. And then the cards that are useless are all the removal. So cut all that. Does Teferi do jack here? Not really. I guess it prevents them from, if we get it out fast enough, it prevents them from countering our counters. Yeah, so if I didn't put Endurance back, I would have won that. Man. All right, let's do that. This is fine. All right, keep. So we're going to go probably fetch Tropical, play Brainstorm, or do I just play Island Brainstorm and then maybe put something back I don't need and then fetch it away? Opponent mulls to 4, mulls to 3. Oops can definitely, win on turn 1, but I don't see how they can win on turn 1 with 3 cards. Draw for turn, Land Ritual, Lotus Petal, Balustrade Spy. I guess they could get there like that, right? All right, end step Brainstorm. Double Endurance is definitely sticking around. So what do I want to put back? I might not actually want Eternal Scourge yet, so let's put back that. Flooded Strand, go. Chrome Mox, Imprint Wild Cantor, Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual. All right, here comes Balustrade. Yeah, all right, fetch. Grabbing Tropical Island, cast Dress Down. All right, and now that fizzles, so now they're basically dead. I could bounce it to their hand, although obviously that's bad, so let's just not do that. Back to them. I guess I ambush it with Endurance, maybe? I don't know. I probably don't even do that, right? On the off chance that they can somehow reanimate it, let's just take the hit and then Endurance on end step. Play Endurance. I'm going to target me. Go to combat, swing. They're still going to attack us. Huh. Interesting. All right, end of turn, another Endurance. Land, go to combat, swing. All right, fetch and Island. And then let's play 3 Fairy. I'll go ahead and bounce that because I have Dress Down. So even if they replay it doesn't matter. All right, game 3, same exact thing. Run it back. All right, we've got a turn 2 Dress Down and Brainstorm. So I'll keep this. Obviously, we can get turn 1 here. Lotus Petal. Xantid Swarm. Well, that is a thing. Plays Agadeem's tapped. So this unfortunately makes us not able to actually interact with them. So let's see. I don't think there's any reason to cast Brainstorm now. So yeah, just back over to them. All right, trigger on the stat, cast Brainstorm. Ooh, Ballista? All right, what am I putting back? Basically, what do I not want to draw? Uro, probably, and what's the second card I don't want to draw? I want to draw Ballista so I can just shoot this. Codal's also kind of bad. I guess if they're going to attack here, I can Codal to block it, but then they still have the trigger. What am I doing next turn? I'm probably just flashing Dress Down on my own end step. I'm probably going Dress Down on my own end step, untap Ballista, shoot that, hold up mana for Brainstorm. I might want to draw both of these anyway. All right, let's put this and this back. All right, and if they have the win this turn, they have the win this turn. All right, they didn't. So Trop, and then I'm going to stop on my own end step, Dress Down. So attacking here does nothing. All right. Ooh, Manipulate Fate. So the issue is that I don't actually have a Force of Will. So option number 1, cast Food Chain, but I actually don't win next turn even if I do that. Option number 2, just shoot it with Ballista right now and then have a land up for Brainstorm. It's probably better. All right, fetch, grab a Plains, Ballista, and then over to them. All right, shoot it. Plays a second Agadeem tapped. All right, end step Brainstorm. Containment Priest makes them unable to combo. All right, what am I putting back? 2 Codals, I guess. Then untap, play a land. I guess I should technically do everything on my own turn, so that way they can't pact on their turn. They have to pact on my turn and then lose. So I should just run it out now. Yeah, I should run it out now then. It's the old, always shoot the infect creature on your turn, so that they have to waste hexproof stuff that pumps their guys on your turn instead of on their turn. And I could cast Codal or Noble Hierarch, but let's just do Manipulate Fate now. Is that actually correct? What's the math? Manipulate Fate, put stuff in the sideboard. Oh yeah, okay, so we just win. We would have had exactly enough to cast Scourge. On to round number 3. So yeah, they know I have Containment Priest in play. They probably don't have any answer in their deck to that. So that is Oops All Spells. Oops All Spells is the quintessential example of degenerate turn 1 combo deck that loses to Force of Will. Of course, in the case of Pact of Negation, it doesn't always lose to Force of Will, but it usually does. Also, is Oops All Spells the only deck that is a viable tournament deck in every format it's legal in. It's in Modern, Legacy, and Pauper, right? Yeah, it's not nearly as fast or consistent in Modern, not really playable. Yeah, but it is in Modern though, right? It's because Modern doesn't have free mana. There's no Chrome Mox, Dark Ritual, or any of that stuff in Modern. The Pauper version runs a single land and it's reliant on creature attacks. Round 3 on the play. 2 mana, Codal. We need to draw a third land to do anything. The hand's not great, obviously, but I don't think it's bad enough to ship. I basically have 3 draws, including the Codal, to find a third land. All right, let's keep. Play Flooded, go. Opponent plays Flooded, fetches, Tundra, Aether Vial. All right, Misty Rainforest, back over to them. Aether Vial goes to 1. So Tundra plus Aether Vial is probably Stoneblade, Brainstorm, another Flooded Strand. All right, I'm going to assume the Death Touch is not going to be that relevant here, and I just need to get all my colors. So what am I fetching? Double green, blue, and white. So I need to get Trop, Savannah, fetch, cast Codal. All right, there's our third land. So now we can Teferi bounce that. Fetch. I have double green. I need double blue, so let's grab Island, Teferi. All right, it's getting forced. They're exiling another force. Very well. Go to combat, attack with Codal. They do have a 1-drop. No, oh, it's Cephalid Breakfast. All right, well, let's see if we're dead. Opponent fetches, step through, Wizard Cycle for the Cephalid, and then they have Vial to Vial it in. Oh, well. Okay, let's see. Rip and Containment Priest, like all the graveyard type, basically, right? Surgical, Dress Down. Same deal, they're also an Oracle Wind deck, so all this. Brazen Borrower can also just bounce Vials and Cephalids and whatnot, so it's probably fine to have that. Let's see. Prismatic can hit Vial, but it's obviously bad. Like, their combo goes off on their turn. I'm going to get rid of that. What else can I cut? Codal and Uro seem really bad here. Codal's at least cheaper. Oh, and I want to Mystical Dispute them too. All right, so let's take out Codal. So yeah, just all this for all this. All right, we got Force of Will, Swords to Plowshares. Looks good. Island, go. Oh, did I have Endurance in my hand last game and I could have Endurance them? Am I just having a brain aneurysm when it comes to having Endurance in my hand today? Opponent fetches. Are they going to daze this? Brainstorm in response. No? All right, resolve this one. That's a lot of lands. All right, so I don't want to draw another land, so let's play fetch land, and then just back over to them. Mana Confluence. Nomad's Encore. Okay. End of turn, let's Swords that. Savannah, Swords. And then back to us. So I can run out 3 Fairy here, and then it can get countered, but it also means I don't have a blue card for Force of Will. All right, let's just run it out. I still have Surgical to potentially interact with them if they go for it. Daze. So they did have a Daze. All right. I was hoping if it got countered, it would at least get forced there, but I guess not. Replays the island. Man, we're just drawing nothing but lands. All right. Heath, go. End of turn. Step through. Okay. Tundra. Their own Teferi. So we can't Surgical in response to whatever they do now. So let's just thin our deck. Oh my god, just nothing but lands. All right. Well, back over to them. Cabal Therapy. Name's Fairy Macabre. Yeah, so Fairy Macabre's the only thing we could have here that would actually interact with them with the Fairy on the board. Nomads, and then there's Cephalid, and we're dead. All right, on to round number 4. Round number 4 on the play. All right, this looks fine, although it's a bit awkward that we need green and white, and we have Prismatic Vista and then an island. So we're definitely pondering turn 1. Cast Ponder. Forest, Noble Hierarch, Mist Hollow. All right, that's actually good. Let's go. I basically want to draw all of this. So let's put Mist Hollow Griffin in my hand now so that I have a Force of Will fodder. And then next turn, it's so awkward with the Vista plus the Noble, but I guess maybe I don't care about Noble. All right, so let's go Noble, land, Mist Hollow, no shuffle, then pass to them. Although, like, I need 4 mana to even cast Mist Hollow in the first place. Trop. All right, so let's play this, and then we can decide whether we want to fetch or not. Bayou. So not fetching now. All right, let's run out Food Chain. Plains, Food Chain. Force us, and they exile Baleful Strix. All right, force back. Food Chain. It resolved. All right. Orcish Bowmasters. How often do people rage quit on Moto? Asking because playing Arena and every other person does it. Any toxic behavior in general, I've not really found on Moto for the most part. Yeah, of course, there will always be a-holes. I've had matches where people just run the clock out, but I think I overall have more positive experiences with players on Moto than the other way around. All right, well, let's see if this resolves. I actually don't have the combo here, though, right? I can make a bunch of mana, but I can't actually win. Well, I should do it anyway, though. All right, Griffin. Food chain it. I need to get enough to play it plus Noble Hierarch. So then green, then we play Noble, then replay the Griffin, and then we just fizzle this and back to them. Wasteland. All right, so they can waste our Tropical, but it's not too bad. I probably want to hold Swords to Plowshares in order to plow this Mist Hollow Griffin in case it dies somehow. Well, never mind. And now we can't block them, so we take another 4, go to 9. Tarmogoyf. Alright, so we're swordsing that. We need to drop pretty well to get out of this. Oh man, Brainstorm with double Bowmasters in play is so bad. So if I swords one of them and then Brainstorm, 3 triggers, our Noble dies, and they get 4... they have lethal in play, but I kind of have to do something here, right? Like, I can't imagine... I guess I can do it on their turn, right? So I go, like, Chump Tarmogoyf, swords one of the Bowmasters, and then Brainstorm after damage. Okay. Oh, right. I could have exiled Griffin to Food Chain. Man, I'm just playing this all kinds of bad. Yeah, I'm just screwing this up to an insane degree, aren't I? Yeah, all right. Let's just concede. I want to call this inexperience, but I think it's just me being stupid. Okay, let's see. I definitely want Dress Down. So they are a blue deck. They do have blue counter spells, but they also have a bunch of non-blue threats. Endurance is probably decent. They're playing Goyf, so is Rip good? Just for Goyf? 20 leagues in 4 days fatigue? I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb. So we are in the grindy matchup here, so I kind of want everything. So what's worse? What are 3 cards that are worse than these 3 cards? Just edit in Grizzly Bears over the Endurance and the VOD? Maybe I'm supposed to trim down on the combo creatures, because it's unlikely I'm going to be able to stick a whole bunch of stuff and they're just like terrible cards on their own. So maybe I trim Scourge, Manipulate Fate. Well, actually, let me think about this. Maybe the actual sideboard is that they're playing Bowmasters, and therefore anything that dies to Bowmasters is bad, which is Noble and Icefang Codal. Man, that's rough. Okay, so let's bring in Mystical Dispute. Let's cut all the Nobles. These guys at least draw a card. All right, let's do that. Huh. This hand looks really bad. Let's mold this. I guess, okay, so let's see. I can draw 1 card with the Krasis if I get up to 4. Now this hand's bad. Let's mold this. This hand's also kind of bad, but it's not as bad. So keep, throw back what? I'm gonna go with Prismatic. All right, fetch, Tundra, cast Ponder. Wow. Those are some draws. I do want to land though. So let's get Mist Hollow in my hand so I can force something. Man, but then Manipulate Fate is just so much worse. I doubt I'm going to want to force anything on turn 1 as well. All right, let's put the Mist Hollow 3rd so that we can fetch it away. Or we're just going to cast Manipulate Fate anyway next turn, so it's fine. Ponder. All right, fetch. Let's grab Trop, and then let's cast Manipulate Fate. If they daze this, I do have to force it back. All right, so get rid of Scourge and the Mist Hollows. And we drew another Force of Will. All right, back to them. Brainstorm. Sure. Fetches with Delta. Bayou. Thoughtseize. Sure. Takes Brainstorm. Well, we need to draw some lands, so I guess I'm going to cast Manipulate Fate and exile the 3 worst cards out of my deck. What are the 3 worst cards in my deck? It's probably lands, but I want to draw lands. I also want to draw Food Chain. Maybe Codal, since it's so bad against Bowmasters. All right, let's exile all the Codals. We drew Uro. All right, back over to them. Cabal Therapy. So they know we have 2 Force of Wills, but if I Force of Will now, they can also just flash back Cabal Therapy with whatever they play next, right? Man, this is just so rough, isn't it? I guess I have to force this. All right. And then if they play any creature, we have to force that one. Yep. Force your Bowmasters. Well, we're doing a whole bunch of nothing. We still didn't even draw a 3rd land anyway. Grist. We can't even kill it. So they're going to Therapy the swords out of our hand? Okay, that's fine. All right, we really need to draw a 3rd land here. All right, 3rd land. Let's go. Let's fetch a green source. Prismatic. Paying green, blue, white, and over to them. Of course, they're 5 cards ahead of us now, so we're still losing. Ponder. Wasteland. Oh, great. Well, there goes Tundra. I'm always surprised when 3 color decks are also... And we drew Swords to Plowshares. All right, back to them. I'm always surprised when 3+ color decks are running Wasteland. Ponder. All right. And we can't do anything, so back to them. Misty Rainforest. And back to us. And Mystical Dispute. And back to them. And looks like it's back to us. Riveting gameplay. Plains. They're just going to counter anything I do, right? All right, back to them. This at least lets me hold up swords plus Mystical Dispute. They're not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. Leovold, counter. Fetches in response. Underground Sea. Mystical disputes us back. All right. And then they get to draw a card after I swords it, but what can you do? All right, swords that. So it's Sultai value mid-range. Oh my god, they have Force of Will too? Come on. All right, let's play around Days. Uro. What do I want to draw? I guess swords to kill this, maybe? I don't know. Uro. Trigger. Oh, right, we can't draw extra cards because of Leovold. Well, it's still correct to play that in case we can escape it next turn. If we draw another land, that's a blue land. Isn't Leovold and Bowmasters like anti-synergistic? I guess it doesn't matter. I can't even cast Mist Hologriffin either. All right, cast Scourge from exile. Hard cast Force of Will? Cool. All right. Delta attack us. We go to 12. Endurance. All right, pass back to them. Swing with Leovold. Attempt to ambush. Endurance. Target them. All right. It targets them, not the graveyard. This is not a May though, right? Up to 1, so I didn't have to target anyone. Will I ever play Endurance correctly this league? Stay tuned. Oh, there goes Endurance. Tarmogoyf. All right, fetch, island, play Uro from the graveyard. Blue, blue. This one. Exile, definitely Scourge. And then, how do I reduce Tarmogoyf the most? There's no other creature in the yard. There's Endurance in the yard, so let's exile that. And then there's too many instants to get rid of. Manipulate, Fate, and Ponder are sorceries. As is Prismatic Ending, I can get rid of all of those. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so get rid of all the sorceries. Oh, I miscounted that. All right, so it's definitely Endurance and Scourge. And then I guess I can get rid of... I can't get rid of all that. So there's no way to get another type out of the yard. So I may as well, get rid of like as many lands from my yard as possible so that if I ever Endurance myself this game, I can get back spells. All right, let's do that. Cast Uro, Veil of Summer. Okay. Then Uro hits the field and I can't draw an extra card. I at least gain life. How are you liking Legacy thus far? I've always liked Legacy. Legacy's great. Plague Engineer, naming Griffin. Another Tarmogoyf. So if I attack, they can chump with the Engineer, which is fine. This Leovold's putting in work, eh? They can also just double block with Tarmogoyf, and then I can only kill one of them, but not attacking also seems bad. All right, let's attack. Swing, trigger. All right, they're just letting themselves get hit. Play Mist Hollow, and then let's play a land and play Scourge. All right, so the Endurance misplay count is what? At least 3. How high can we get to by the end of the league? If they attack with Engineer, I block that. Yeah, all right, so no attacks from them. Food Chain. We don't have an out for it though, but let's just... Is escaping it casting it for its escape cost? Yeah, so it is casting it. This flies, so I guess I may as well swing here as well. Trigger Uro. All right, do you block? Blocking with Goyf. Okay, so then let's play Food Chain. All right, exile this one. So it basically gets Vigilance. What, are they going to counter this? Force of Vigor on the Food Chain. Let's exile the Scourge in response. All right, so then this one resolves. Then we play this one. And then we play Scourge. And then over to them. If we win this game, oh my god. By the way, I've rewatched your Every Ring is Fine video 2 to 3 times. I think it's really interesting despite some of the disdain for certain cards being humorous. Even though I don't play Modern anymore, I like hearing about just how abysmal the format is. Here's to hoping WotC actually makes Pioneer a fun format by adding powerful Modern cards like Bolt, Path, Vial, Goyf, Snap, Caster, Cryptic, and Bloodbraid. Plays their own Uro, and then they can fetch, and then they can replay it. Okay. So then Uro comes back, they go to 11. They have 3 cards in their hand now. We just have to find an answer to Leovold, right? Because that's what's preventing us from really getting into the game. Yeah, all right. I guess we swing with Uro and 2 Griffins, right? Swing, swing, swing. Why does it even ask you if you want to put a land into play if you don't have a land in your hand? Block with the Goyf. Okay. They're at 7, and then I can't do anything, so just pass over to them. So basically the comments are asking, would Snapcaster be good in Pioneer? Yeah, it would be good. Obviously, you don't have as many good instants to play, but it would still be a good card. Opponent Brainstorms. I do think Pioneer could use with some better answers than what it has. Probably like Bolt Path. Those are the 2 big ones that stand out. Probably Monoleak, so you have actually good counter spells in the format. All right, opponent is at 4 cards. We are at 1 card that we can't even use. Witherbloom command, make the Griffin a -1/1, and then they're gonna what? Bowmaster it? Yeah, Bowmaster to kill it. Okay, and then they can chump with both of these guys on my Uro. Yes, Caracas. The F out of here, Leovold. Obviously they draw, but we get rid of it. Combat. The Scourge actually has a good attack now. Swing, swing, swing. Trigger Uro. Obviously that triggers Bowmasters. That's fine. Oh yeah. Oh, this counts abilities too? I thought it was only spells. Well, there goes Eternal Scourge. All right, 2/2 over here. Or, oh, it's countered because this gets exiled. All right. Any blocks. Chump there. Let's try to resolve Food Chain. Oh my god, do I Brainstorm right now? Trigger Bowmaster 3 times, it kills the Griffin, or it tries to kill the Griffin, and then we can just exile it with Food Chain. The alternative is to do what? Brainstorm on their turn? But they're going to just replay Leovold, right? So I have to do it in response to that anyway. All right, let's Brainstorm. Oh, thank god, Dress down. All right, so let's put these back. So they're just going to throw them all at me? Yeah, all right, that makes sense. So then exile Griffin and replay Scourge. And I unfortunately have to do this in such a way that I hold up as much mana as possible. All right, Scourge, Griffin, and then over to them. So the only question is, when do I Dress down? I guess it's before Uro attacks me, right? Because I do want to trigger my Uro on my own turn. Bowmasters. All right, I guess I'm Dress downing in response to that. All right, Dress down resolves. Draw a card. Oh man, I kept white open because I was hoping I would hit swords, but it would have been great to Brainstorm here. Return of Leovold. So they probably should just attack anyway, right? Like, just swing in at least to get 6 damage in? Guess not. All right, Dress down goes away. Then it's back to us. Oh, a land. So I can't Brainstorm. So I can go bounce Leovold and then Brainstorm with 2 Bowmasters in play? Yeah, that's a great sequence of goes. I don't know what to do here. Swing with Uro. I guess I Caracas Leovold, swing with Uro, and then they will get rid of Eternal Scourge, and then I just see what happens after that. Like, I technically can Brainstorm with both of these in play. It's just... yeah, alright. Bounce Leovold. It triggers. They can also kill the Griffin off with the Bowmasters, right? It doesn't matter that much. Alright, go to combat. Swing with Uro. Trigger. Put this into play. Then the Bowmasters trigger. And then we've got Swords to Plowshares. Is at least good to plow one of them. They're going to target Uro. Okay. And then they're going to block it with the army. Cool. Alright, what's blocking? I would love to recast Uro. Alright, go to damage. Oh, they have Surgical Extraction. Alright, Surgical. Alright, main phase 2. Swords one of your Bowmasters. Then Brainstorm. We just have to draw one of our outs. We didn't draw one of our outs. Alright, put the lands back. Bowmaster triggers. They're going to target just us. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, pass. Holding up Force of Will. Bowmasters. Caracas can technically deal with Leovold. I do just want to get rid of Leovold, though. Alright, yeah. Bowmasters, trigger, target Scourge. Let's just exile it in response so they don't get... I guess it doesn't matter whether I exile it or not. Alright, Mana Fizzles. They go to combat. I presume they're attacking. Really? They're going to attack with all that, eh? Alright, they draw with Uro. Put a land into play. I guess I don't want to block because I do want more mana open. 6, 8, 11. We go to 3. And then we have to fetch to 2. And then... well, let's block Plague Engineer. Now, because then I lose the Griffin. Nah, never mind. Let's not block. All right, we're at 3. Ponder. Wasteland on Caracas. All right, I'm glad I kept Force of Will up. They're not even replaying Leovold? All right, well, I'm going to fetch. I guess, yeah, they're not replaying Leovold. Why? So that if I play anything that draws a card, I just die? All right, what do we draw? Ponder, which if I cast it, we just lose. Yeah, I think we're dead. And on to the 5th and final round. We are on the play. This hand is not great, but acceptable. Keep. You can force with Griffin and have swords. Alright, let's just play Savannah and pass. Volcanic Island. DRC. Alright, we're playing against Delver. Mishra's Bauble. Surveil. Puts Force and Negation away. Bauble us. Alright, let's swords this. Daze. Allow the Surveil to resolve. And then, no, we will force you back. Get rid of Mist Hollow. Get out of here, DRC. Alright, Bauble draw. And then we just have a bunch of lands. Well, there's another Force of Will that's not really doing anything. So let's just play Misty Rainforest and pass. Volcanic. All right, play an island and back to them. Tropical. Plays up the Beanstalk. I can technically Besage you that, and I probably should. All right, so Besage you that. Let's go grab Tundra. Yeah. All right, well, here's a Mist Hollow Griffin. And back to them. We are being highly outclassed on the amount of cards we have versus them. Bolts our Griffin. Brainstorm, Tarn, Fetch, and another Beanstalk. Well, we keep drawing lands, so back to them. DRC. All right, let's try to counter it. Force. It is successfully countered. And now here comes Mandrills to draw a card. I still don't really get why they play Mandrills instead of Murktide. Murktide's just so much better of a creature. It's also blue and pitchable to Force of Will. Wasteland. All right. Well, we've got quite the uphill battle to get back into this game. They are opting not to wasteland us, and we've drawn a land. All right. Well, over to them. Take 4 from Mandrels. All right. End step. Let's go grab a basic plains. Another land. All right. Go. And we're down to 8. All right. Fetch. We've drawn yet another land. All right. Well, we're just getting flooded this game. Look at this land to spell ratio. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 actual spells. All right, we're dead to Bolt now, so I assume we're just going to lose immediately. Yeah, we're dead. How many lands are we running? We are running 20. Okay, so let's see. I want the Blasts. I want Endurance. And I want Rip, Mystical Dispute, probably Brazen Borrower. I don't think I want Dress Down in this matchup. Let's see. They're running Beanstalk. Does that make Foundation Breaker good? Probably not. The thing is, like, all of our spells are kind of good against them, right? Let's just say Noble's not very good. We're going to be grinding a lot, and I don't want to be top decking Monodorks later in the game. Other than that, though, everything's kind of fine. So let's see. These Blasts, they kill DRC, and they counter Bolts. That's probably not enough. So we don't need to run these. And that leaves these cards. So Brazen Borrower is good for bouncing Hooting Mandrels that have come into play, and then you can just... And then they have to delve a bunch more stuff. It's not really good other than that, though. All right, so none of that. So these 3 for the 3 Nobles, and we'll run that. This is pretty weak, but it does have Endurance and Swords. All right, I'll keep. Flooded, over to them. Drop, Ponder. So there's an awkward tension between wanting to get basics to play around Wasteland, but then also needing like double green for Endurance, plus white for Swords, plus blue, plus double blue for the Mist Hollow. All right, land, back. Tropical. There's also the temptation to play around Days. Yeah, nothing we can do about that. That resolves. Brainstorm. All right, back over to them. Ponder. Taiga. Plays another Beanstalk. All right, fetch. Let's grab an island and let's cast... You know what? Let's actually cast Endurance. So if I grab Forest here, then I have to grab... No, I need to grab Tropical and then Plain... No, Tropical and then Savannah. All right. This can obviously get dazed. It puts me in the best position to where if they don't have a counter... Okay, yeah. So target them, pick this up. If they don't have a counter, it gets a threat onto the board while they don't have a threat. All right, combat, swing... So let's fetch. So I do want to get another threat on the board, and then I want to be able to have another draw. So let's play around Days, and then probably have the ability to cast Brainstorm on their turn. I should have held Tendra up so I had Swords up. So while they're up on cards, we're up on the board. Submerge, targeting the Eternal Scourge to draw 2 cards. All right. So Eternal Scourge goes to exile. Ponder. Misty Rainforest. Fetch. Brainstorm. I severely underestimated how good this card would be. I figured you would need to run more high-cost stuff for it to be good, but no, just running like 8 is fine. Ponder. So they're clearly putting as much delve in the graveyard for Mandrels as they can. All right, there's Mandrels. All right, let's Brainstorm. Oh, there's Force of Will. What am I putting back? These 2, and then I guess I'll try to force this. I wouldn't if I didn't have Griffin to exile to it. Days, sure. Cleanup step. Isn't it nuts that Delver can go to the cleanup step now? This card's Surgical Wasteland. All right, Uro, so blue, green, this one. Triggers, resolve this, and then let's Swords the Mandrels. And they're forcing it back, and Force of Will is actually card neutral now, or card positive now. Absolutely insane. Oh, and they have Surgical for this. Okay, now let's cast Ponder. Brainstorm, Mystical Dispute, another land. I guess that's fine. And over to them. Volcanic, swings with the Mandrels, no blocks, go to 13, and then just holding up interaction. All right, well, let's attack them. Swing with Endurance. I guess let's play Scourge and then have both of these open. So, play Scourge, back over to them, Scalding Tarn, fetch, casting Fury, which also double triggers. All right, Brainstorm. There's Force of Will. I guess let's try to force that. I can't believe they printed this card. Hey, you know all those free elementals that we've been printing that cost 5 and up? Let's print a card that's an insane draw engine with them. All right, we're going to lose this game, so let's just go ahead and concede now. So, only 2 and 3. Obviously could have played better, although I don't think I played so poorly that we lost games just off of misplay, or that we lost matches just off of misplaying. I obviously lost the first game against Oops by misplaying, but we won that match. So, food chain overall. I do like the deck. I do also think it has problems. The combo itself is not fast or consistent enough to be like a really good combo, which could be fine if the rest of the deck were a really, really solid mid-range value deck, but I don't think it is. Like, Noble Hierarch, Codal's not really that great. So the deck, maybe the deck could work if you played around with the mid-range components of the deck and figured out a way to make it more of like a grind fest. That's basically what Food Chain Goblins is doing, where they're a Goblins deck, but then they just happen to have Food Chain plus Squee, and Matron can fetch Squee. But overall, yeah, I think I was happy playing it. It felt fun. But yeah, that is Food Chain.